April the 7th, I made a declaration. I'm a secret. I've been a secret for 76 years. And I said on April the 7th, either I will know the secret or I won't. And I'm leaving it alone. I want to know the secret, but I don't need to know the secret. I wanted to know something about my birth mother, but I didn't need to know. I wanted to know something about my father, but I didn't need to know. Mamie Brown was my mother and father all wrapped in one, but I was just curious. There was no hole in my soul. I didn't feel incomplete. I have not been depressed and worried and stressed out about it. No. And I think I've done well without knowing. But I said, if I had some idea, it would be good. I would just wonder. And here's what sparked my curiosity. Somebody asked me, why would you want to know? Well, I wonder where I got my speaking from. Now, let me fast forward. Are you ready for this? Have a cushion by to catch your mouth when it drops open. I've always felt whenever I'm in Georgia, always felt a connection here. And there's some things that happen to you, you forget, and then they come back. Something happens and trigger that memory. And so, years ago, 1992, I introduced my book, Live Your Dreams. I was doing a book signing here in Atlanta. And this couple, they stood back and they watched me. They didn't come to the table for me to sign their book. They just stood back and watched me. I spoke to them, they spoke to me. And when the crowd died down, the lady stepped forward. And she said, hold your hand open. I held my hand open, and she put a picture in my hand. And I looked at it. She asked, does that look familiar? I said, yes. This is Wesley and I. This is my twin brother and I. How did you get this? And at that moment, she and the gentleman turned and walked away, and she just looked back and waved. I thought that was strange. I just thought that was different. That Mamie Brown, when we were born, that she, so excited, it was a little small picture. Just passed out little small pictures to everybody. I never thought about it, and I just let it go. But my oldest son, Calvin, he knew that I wanted to know, where did I get my ability to speak? You know, some things nurture, some things nature. I said, there are things I'm doing that I don't know how I know. And I see them, my children, doing things that I didn't teach them. It's in them. So Calvin, unbeknownst to me, went on 23andMe, started searching, ran to a wall. Then he went to Ancestry. And there's a lady that he ran into on 23andMe. It was a hobby that she had of finding people in 23andMe and Ancestry. And come to think of it, she said, why are you looking? Well, I'm trying to find my father's parents. What's your father's name? He's Les Brown. Is that right? Yeah. What, do you have any other information? I have an old birth certificate. And he shared the information on the birth certificate before I was adopted. And she said, whoa, I'm your father's first cousin. Excuse me? Yes, I'm your father's. I do this as a hobby, connect adopted kids with their birth parents. I'm your father's first cousin. And that opened up another door. And now this has been going on for a long time. Then here I am in Atlanta, moved to Georgia. Used to do PBS specials to raise money for public television. And a guy who was a producer there, unbeknownst to him and unbeknownst to me, he was a relative of mine. And then we started making calls to try and pull things together. Come to find out, my birth mother, she was a speaker. You can't make this stuff up. She was a speaker. She was fierce. She spoke all over Georgia. And one guy told me today she could play a piano till it walked. She could play the piano. He said she had just a high energy, electrifying personality, and she could tear a piano up. He said, and she could sing. I said, no. Yes. And guess what? I said, what? Your grandmother, she's a speaker too. She was a speaker. And she raised funds for a school. Is that right? And we just went back and forth. So I saw two pictures. Whew. Cannot be denied. This weekend, I wanted to get in bed with some sweet potato pie or bread pudding or chunky monkey ice cream. The president, I said, this is just too much. When I saw the pictures, I said, oh, I said, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. My goodness. Oh, I was crying. Tears of gratitude, tears of relief. So now you know what you're going to do with this. What I'm going to do with it? I'm going to raise the bar on myself. My mother was tough, but my grandmother, she was a bad somebody. I'm going to raise funds for her center. It closed. And I got family members here. I know their names. I don't know how you go up in there and share this. So I'm pumping my brakes. But I know I just wanted to give a report that my prayers were answered. I call my son every day and say thank you. Thank you, Calvin. He went on Ancestry and 23andMe, and he just was relentless. And he broke the code of silence, of the secret. When they sent me some pictures, I said, whoa. For this thing called life. Isn't it fascinating? You know, I feel like Mother Teresa. She said, just when I thought I got a handle on life, the handle broke. Oh my goodness. I mean, who does this at 76? At 76. When I saw this dude's face that looked like mine, I said, whoa. It said he was a shop dresser. He was a ladies' man. Now that explains all those children behind me. The devil is a liar. When I look at my life right now, I just said, God, you ain't right. You ain't right. You had to wait all this time. You ain't right. I'm sorry. I got to check you on this. You ain't right. Oh my goodness. I was jacked up this weekend. I wanted some of do y'all know Rick? He's a photographer in Atlanta. He fixed the best blueberry and banana pancakes on the planet. You can look at them and your insulin have to be increased and your blood sugar level increases. All right, they're the best. They're small, poor, but they are good. Rick, the photographer. Oh my goodness. I started to have him teach me how to do it. I said, but don't do that. Don't teach me. I just come over every once in a while. And after I take my insulin and fix me a few. I wanted some of Rick's pancakes this past weekend. Yes, I did. And then I went down to Cancer Centers of America to get my checkup. And they said, Mr. Brown, you know what? I said, what? They said, you are a blessed man. I said, why do you say that? Your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen, was 2,400. I don't know what you're doing, but it's 0.0 minus 1. I said, look at God. I said, won't he do it? The nurse practitioner, she was startled. I said, won't he do it? She said, yes, he'll do it, he'll do it. I'm so grateful. Can y'all tell him I'm happy? Did I tell you I'm happy? 0.0 minus 1. From 2,400. When your PSA that high, you just need to park at the cemetery, just walk on in and just jump in one of the open graves. I'm sorry. Oh, behave. Hello? So I'm a happy camper. I was so happy when I was walking. I was coming out of there. I was a happy camper.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. The best news this weekend. Best weekend in my life. My life. He said, you're not going to die from cancer. No. Whatever you're doing, you keep on doing it. As Reverend Ike would say, you can't lose with the stuff I use. Oh boy. I was talking to a friend of mine who's also adopted. And we're having conversations. She's having a rough time. She said, I'm happy for you. But I feel like I was thrown away. I said, no. You were born for greatness. No. If somebody took you in, didn't carry you for 9 months, you were chosen with love. No. We gotta talk, sister, up in here. This thing called life. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's all I got to say about that. Yes, if you're happy for me, okay. My twin brother, he's been cool. He said, Leslie, I'm proud of you. When he saw the pictures, he looked at me, looked in the mirror. People handle things differently. So, but he said he's proud of me. That's the second time he said that in 76 years. Proud of what I've done with my life, and proud of the fact that I was able to find out who our birth parents were. They're since gone, but we got pictures now. And stories. Some of y'all out there know her, especially those of you who live in Gainesville, Georgia, not Ohio. You know. My mother said my mouth is like a refrigerator, can't hold nothing. I ain't saying no names or nothing. Yeah, I got relatives in several places. Now I know where they are. But if you're watching, don't worry about me showing up on your doorstep saying, do you know who I am? No. If they allow me to. I'm going to do some things to support the work that my grandmother used to do. She was a tough woman. How do you explain things? The title of my book, You've Got to Be Hungry. People know me by that. You got to be hungry. Tell the disc jockey story. You got to be hungry. The greatness within to win. And they said about my grandmother, she was hungry to learn, hungry to motivate people, adults and kids and teach them how to read. Hungry to do that kind of work, to serve. Now, this explains it. This explains it. I can't help it. I have the can't helps it. I have the can't helps it. That's it. I have the can't helps it. I have the can't helps it. I gotta speak. I gotta motivate you. I gotta encourage you. I gotta inspire you. Why? I got the can't helps it. It's in my blood. It's in my DNA. I got the can't helps it. Yeah, that's what's wrong. That's why I can't stop. Yeah. I remember one day I was speaking at this event, and I said, when I get fired up, I'll make a paraplegic jump up and run. I did not know that Darryl Stingley, former professional football player, was in his wheelchair in the back of the room. He said, hurry up. I said, oh my God. And we both laughed. Okay. Look at God. Look at God. The secret is over. For me. For me. And I didn't allow the secret to define me. Even though I did not know, because of Mamie Brown, God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. Because of Mamie Brown, I'm Mamie's boy. Because of her, come on now. I had this mindset that I want to do something to help somebody, help people, because I'm just like her. Thank you for listening to me. This has been good therapy. Would you put in in the comment section, we're praying for you, Les. This is your time. We're praying for you. Because this is my time. I believe that both my mothers and my grandmother are watching me. And my father watching me. Saying, make us proud, boy. Make us proud. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And yes, sir. I look like him too. He's a handsome dude. As soon as I get permission, I'm going to show his picture. He's a handsome dude. Player from the Himalayas. Today is the happiest day of my life. Did I tell you? The happiest day of my life. Tyrone said, it's true. Happiest day of my life. I've always had a prayer that one day I'll be able to see the face of my father and my mother. So April 7th, my prayer was, Father, give this to me if it's for my highest good. If not, give me its equivalent or something better for anything that I desire. That's the prayer that I put out there. And so my son Calvin, who's been searching for his grandparents for the longest, he achieved what appeared to be the impossible. I'm 76. And so
I didn't think it was going to be possible. I knew that because of my age, they probably had passed. But I didn't think that what I'm about to share with you and show you, and I just want your comments on it. For the first time, here's my father. His name was Oliver Randolph, out of Gainesville, Georgia. Oliver Randolph. They said he was a sharp dresser, and the ladies liked him. Let me where I got that from. That's him. That's Wesley and I's father. We share some brothers here, and so this is my father. I just saw his picture for the first time because of Amaria, who's a first cousin that works for Delta Airlines. She had a picture of him from Gainesville, Georgia. And so now, always when I speak, I said God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother, Mamie Brown. So here is my biological mother. Some of you in the Gainesville area and in Georgia saw my mother. She was a fierce motivational speaker. I wonder where I got that from. And they said she could play a piano so good she could make the piano walk. And not only was she a great speaker, but she also was a pianist and she could sing. And they said she was funny. She was a comedian. Okay? I said, come on! You gotta be kidding me. Yes, and so your grandmother, Beulah Rucker Museum, the Beulah School that taught African American kids how to read, they said she was hungry. Listen to this, hungry to learn. And she taught herself the alphabets by reading newspapers that were used on the wall to insulate the walls in the cabinet where she stayed. Taught herself to read. She went to a college and they asked for money and she held her hands out and said, "These two hands can work." And the headmaster turned her away and she came back again. Sounds familiar? She was hungry to learn and held her two hands out again and said, "These two hands can work." And so the principal, the head of the school, he let her in and she did work for him and for all the other instructors. Beulah Rucker. But here's my mother, Dorothy Bell. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Can you believe this? That's the person that God took me out of my biological mother's womb. Yes. Hey, hey, Taylor, I want you to cue up Mama holding Wesley and I. Okay, cue that up and put that there so I can break that up. And then when Wesley and I were little boys, put those two there. Put those two slides there. So that's Dorothy Bell. Dorothy Bell Rucker. That's my
birth mother. Look at God. Come on, somebody. Oh my goodness. I was crying. I needed therapy. I got in bed with some Chunky Monkey ice cream. I didn't know what to feel. Oh my goodness. I've got a niece. Greer, are you there? And I have a niece that she aspires to become a motivational speaker. I got a brother named George. I tell you that I met him today for the first time. He called me, and I have been embraced. I was nervous with such love. Such love. I'm so thankful. I wondered how they would react to me. I'm a secret that has been exposed. Boy. Well, I didn't know. I'm just so grateful. They spoke so lovingly to me. They didn't shun me. They didn't hang up on me. George called me back. Oh boy. No, life is, oh man, it's just got so many things happening, you know? So many things happen. But this has been incredible. I showed the pictures to my twin brother, Wesley. And he said, Leslie, for the second time in my life, I heard these words come from my brother. I'm proud of you. I think this is my niece. Hello? Hold this minute. What did you say?
I'm here, but I don't know how to get in. I've never talked on a...
Oh, no, you don't have to. I got you. I'm going to do it on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
All right. People can hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you don't have to. I got you. I'm going to do it on the telephone.
Okay. So you got to turn down the volume in the background. Hey, Tola, can you take down the images on the right side so I can see the comments of people, see what people are saying? Would you do that for me, Tola, please? So this is Greer. This is Greer. This is my niece. Hello, Greer. How are you?
I'm well. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Tola, are you still there? Let me see if Tola, he's my engineer. And I want to find out if he's still orchestrating things. He wears a lot of hats. Yeah, can you move the images on the right so I can talk to my niece and I can see the comments of people?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Let me see here what people are saying. Yes, and so all right, Greer?
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me now, so Dorothy Bell is your grandmother. She's my mother, but she's your grandmother. What do you remember about her?
Everything that you were saying about her is correct. She was an amazing woman. She was a motivational speaker. She was a comedian. She took me everywhere on her speaking engagements and her community involvements. She was a woman who made sure that the Gainesville community the children of the Gainesville community was well taken care of. And it was beautiful to watch. As an adult now, I wish I would have paid attention more to some of the things that she was doing. I didn't realize how important it was then, but looking back on it and her legacy, and even now in Gainesville, Georgia, people still bring her name up. And when they see me, they always tell me stories about my grandmother. She touched many lives, many, many lives.
And so Beulah Rucker, who started the school.
Yes.
Yes.
Beulah is my great-grandmother, your grandmother.
Yes. Wow. And so she was known. She went to the college and said, these hands will work. And they turned away the first time. Then she went back a second time. What happened the second time?
They went ahead and accepted those hands at Savannah State.
At
Savannah State University. And that's how she paid her way through college.
Savannah State University, and that's how she paid her way through college, by working?
Yes, by using her resources such as her hands and whatever else that they needed, her mind, whatever was needed, since she couldn't pay. But we all have things that we can use to pay for things, using our resources, and that's what she did.
Wow. Let me talk to my brother, please.
Okay, here he is.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
I'm your older brother.
Yeah, I know that. I thought I was a top dog, but I guess I ain't no more.
Okay.
Yeah, you look like me. So that's why I know you're a good-looking man. You look like me.
All right, I received that. Absolutely. Yeah. What did you think when I called to talk to you this morning and say we need to talk? That Dorothy Bell was my mother, and you immediately said, "What?" I said, "Yes, she's my mother." And you said, "That makes us brothers."
That's right. Yeah, but at first I thought you was a telemarketer, because I'd seen it, and I was, people be calling, and then when you said that and started talking, and you mentioned Dorothy Bell, I said, this the real thing. When you told me about my mother and what she had done, and I said, man, you didn't hear me, but I threw a little water too out there.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, I cried a little bit. But yes. I'm just so glad this day will live in infamy.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Man, tell me about our mother.
Well, she was, on the other side of the coin, that she was a good mama. She really was. And she would always do, in fact, I probably know 90% of all of her speeches that she made up. And I would travel around with her, and I'm kind of like my daughter. At that time, I didn't care about a lot of things, but she taught at my grandmother's school. See, my grandmother Beulah, our grandmother, our grandmother Beulah had the first veteran school in the state of Georgia for black off-white. And she started that. And I wondered how she was able to she had a whole army barracks. And I wondered how she was able to do that. And after research, and I found out she and Eleanor Roosevelt was good friends. I said, that's how that happened. And she was able to get some things done. And she also, it was called the Beulah Rucker Industrial High School, because she taught bricklaying. She didn't teach it, but she had teach bricklaying to the veteran that got out of school, got out of service during the Korean conflict, and they would come down and she would teach them. And she also taught basic education. And they taught heating and air conditioning, sewing. She had it all going on for her. And at the time, this was just unheard of for a woman of color to be able to do these kind of things in the early 50s, and late 40s. This was just unheard of. And I think about a lot of times, has she been coming on now with all the resources, no telling what she had done, but that was her time. And our grandmother, she ran a boarding school too for kids who couldn't afford to pay. Couldn't afford to be there, but what she would do, my grandmother wouldn't give you anything. You had to work for it. And so she would have girls fed in one part, boys in the other. So she had a half a day of training for the girls, half a day of training for the boys. They had to work. To show you how she was, she ran a little store, sold sodas for a nickel. I remember asking her, I said, Grandma, what we call her, I said, can I have a soda? She said, you got a nickel? I said, no. She said, well, you go there and move that lumber and I'll give you a soda. Now, she just believed in you working. And that's what her philosophy was. And my mama taught school there. My grandmother, so there's two other teachers that taught. And if I wished it, I don't wish it, because God had his plan for us, and we met at this time, and there was a reason. There's a reason for this. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes.
What?
And I'm at peace with that. I'm glad that I'm sure that she is looking from the other side, celebrating that we finally met.
Yeah, found each other. That's right. Our mother was she entertained so much that people would call her just to do and she not only would sing, play, say speeches, she could do a whole hour and a half of performances and with different things. In fact, I know a lot of, maybe we get together sometime and I'll tell you some of them. She was a remarkable woman.
Wow.
Oh, you want to hear a little short of hers?
Yes.
Are you a Muslim? Huh?
Yes.
Well, I went to church just the other day. The preacher was preaching in the good old-fashioned way. He was discussing the Bible so good that I began to holler. I found myself in the flow just a while. Deacon came up and said, how does you feel? I said, I feel so good from my head to my heel. He said, that's it, brother, that's it, that's what you're supposed to feel. Well, about 3 days later, I was walking down Spider Spring, singing, goodness and grace. Stop. I saw these clothes on the line, and I looked around, I didn't see nobody. Now, you might think I got a religion, or you might think I was still in sin, but I sure stole these clothes to be baptized in. I just want a many little things.
She wrote that? Oh, so she wrote poems too?
Yes, she wrote all that. And I got about 10, 12, 15 that I found the other day.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I got to get some copies.
Oh yeah, you know you'll get them, brother.
Yes. Oh man, wow.
That just want a minute. I take up too much time of your program trying to tell y'all of.
No, you won't. No, you won't. The people who follow me, they love my story, and this is a new story in my life. Wow. So speaking is in my blood.
Yeah, you got it naturally. You got it naturally.
And
well, you sure you want to hear another one?
Yes, I do.
You got time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you know, they always talk about we not having much. We don't have much knowledge. You know, they always say that we don't talk much. Well, I had an uncle back in the day. You had an uncle too back in the day. His name was John. Well, John stayed on the plantation, and he didn't know but 2 words. Yes, sir. Well, the master had another plantation owner that came over to see him. And he said, I heard you got a person down here. We ain't gonna use those other terms. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
He don't know nothing but 2 words. Now, I want to see how smart he is. Now, if he can remember what I tell him, I will buy his freedom from you. He said, okay. So the master said, John, come up here, Yaza. So he came up there. And the other plantation owner said, John, those pants you got on, don't call them pants no more. Call them cubelos. Yaza, that bed you sleep on, John, call it bed no more. Call it easy sister. Yes, sir. He said, now that cat over there, call it cat no more. Call it white persimmon. And that fire in the fireplace, don't call it fire no more. Call it red hot coals of corduroy. And they said, come on out here. You see that bun right there? Call it bun no more. Call it the High King of Chickamauga. He said, yes, sir. He said, now, that pun down there, call it pun no more. Call it the Age of Revelation. He said, yes, sir. Well, about a week later, John was knocking on the door. Master, 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 rise up off your easy sister, jump into your cubelos. The red hot coals of corduroy popped on white persimmon's back as she headed for the High King of Chickamauga, and without the Age of Revelation, our kingdom would be destroyed.
Wow. So she wrote, she was a comedian, she sang, she played the piano, she spoke.
Yeah. And that's how John got his freedom, see? So use your mind. Use your mind.
Boy. And so our grandmother, how did she learn how to read?
Our grandmother.
Yes, Beulah.
You just tell the newspapers on the wall. She learned the alphabets and learned how to read from that.
The article said about her, said she was hungry to learn.
Yes. Yes, that was our grandmother.
And my new book is called You've Got to Be Hungry.
That's pretty good. Wow. That's good.
Look at God. I said, you got to be hungry. That's the title of my book. And the subtitle of it is The Greatness Within to Win. She was hungry to learn and started a school for kids and adults.
That's right.
Man.
That's exactly right. She did that. And she always felt that you shouldn't be given anything. You need to work for it. And she gave us something to do. She has some property that she sold to some people that never did pay her. She died before they paid her, but they couldn't pay her, so she would let them work, and she signed the papers for them to get their houses built. But it didn't seem to bother her. Money was not an issue for her. She knew how to make it. And she would have my mother, she would have what they call a little social on Saturday nights, and you paid a nickel to get in. Now, we had an old bus, and I'd drive it around and pick up folks. And she would have them to come in. You had to pay a nickel. If you didn't have no nickel, you had to sweep a floor or something to get in. And that's what she did. She just believed and you had to pay. And at 10 o'clock, every Saturday night at 10 o'clock, it was over. She just blinked the lights twice. And you know it was over. To give you an example, my wife and I was staying in the house up there, and we had some friends in, and having a little get together. And at 10 o'clock, them lights blinked, and she was already dead. It blinked twice, and I said, "Okay, y'all got to go." That's what you talking about. I said, "Y'all got to go." I know what that meant. I don't know what she did. I brought them out because I knew she was saying it's time to go, and I knew that by them lights blinking twice.
Wow. Oh man, that is just incredible. Well, George, I'm so glad this is the happiest day of my life, meeting my other brother. Thank you so much. Y'all received me with such love. All right. Well, we're going to be seeing each other real soon. I'm coming to now. Where do you live?
I live in Oakwood, Georgia.
Oakwood, Georgia. Okay, and I'm in Ackworth, and I'm coming to. We got to get together in Gainesville. I got to come to the museum where our grandmother has a museum honoring her work.
Yes, and we have a educational building there that we can have a small get together with the rest of the family.
Okay, that sounds great to me.
Okay, thank you for all your time, brother, and I'm sorry I took up all your time. Now you ain't got nothing to say.
Oh, yes, I got a lot to say. I want to thank you and your wife and my niece for receiving me, and I can't wait to connect with my brother and the rest of the family to let us know that we have finally got the last piece to the puzzle.
All right. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you as well. Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Oh boy. That's my brother George Rucker. Oh boy. Oh, wow. Oh me. I tell you, this thing called life. Mother Teresa said, just when I thought I got a handle on life, the handle broke. Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? Oh my goodness. I got to collect myself after talking to my brother George Rucker. His mother, Dorothy Bell Rucker, we have the same mother, and her mother was Beulah Rucker. And we got Ruckers everywhere, and Randolphs and everything else. Wow.